Good evening. You're watching Hungary Reports, kicking off public media and one's foreign language news hour. I'm Marcia Flum. Thanks for joining us. The vaccine factory being built in Hungary will be suitable for manufacturing the Chinese coronavirus vaccine as well. Minister of Foreign Affairs and Trade said in China on Monday, following bilateral talks with his Chinese counterpart. Peter Híradó emphasized that this would be a great strategic advantage for Hungary. Vaccine is not an ideological or geopolitical issue, but a means to save lives, the minister added. Prime Minister Viktor Orbán had talks in the Carmelite Monastery with Wolfgang Sobotka, president of the Austrian Parliament's lower house. At the meeting, the two parties discussed their country's successful coronavirus protection efforts and the ever-increasing illegal migration. The Prime Minister pointed out that thanks to the vaccination campaign, a gradual lifting of pandemic-related restrictions could begin in Hungary, adding that the country was now among the best ones in Europe in terms of vaccination rate and the pace of easing the restrictive measures. The two parties also touched on the European COVID passport that might take long weeks to be introduced. In the meantime, bilateral agreements between countries on accepting immunity certificates may offer a solution, and Hungary is ready to conclude such an agreement with Austria too, the PM added. The Hungarian investment rate is at the forefront in the EU again. Minister of Finance evaluated the latest data on his social media platform. Mihály Varga emphasized that the growth had been affected by state developments and family investments as well. The economic protection measures that had compensated the effects of the crisis by increasing investment were effective. Since 2010, investments in Hungary have increased by 63%, which is 3 times the EU average, making Hungary a front-runner in the region, the minister pointed out. Hungary's defense spending will exceed a record 1,000 billion forints, that is about 2.9 billion euros in the 2021 budget. Minister of Defense announced. Tibor Benke said that almost half of the amount would be spent on further developments and investments focusing on soldiers committed to their homeland. A memorial to victims of the deadly boat collision on the River Danube happened 2 years ago was inaugurated at the site of the accident at Margaret Bridge on Monday, marking the 2nd anniversary of the disaster. The biggest disaster on the Danube in the history of Budapest occurred on the 29th of May in 2019, when a sightseeing boat called Hableány sank in a river after it had been run over by an enormous hotel ship at the foot of Margaret Bridge. The tragedy claimed the lives of 28 people. At the time of the collision, there were 33 South Korean tourists on board and a crew of 2 Hungarians. 7 passengers were rescued from the river. That's all for now, but we'll be back tomorrow night at around the same time, and you can stream Hungary Reports online as well. Please stay tuned for our German, Russian and Chinese language news. Thanks for watching. Take care. Good night.